everyone, welcome back. I don't know if you know this, but today is the first day of National Library Week. So I thought we would do something a little different. First of all, I am dressed like my friend Miss Margie Darcy. She is a librarian at Mission High School in the Rio Grande River Valley, and she is pretty much the most magical, amazing person I know. She organizes my favorite event of the year every year. It's called the Border Book Bash, where she brings all these authors and students and librarians and educators together for just a big celebration of books. There are panels, there's a literary conference, there are sea turtles because we get to go to South Padre Island for the day. It's amazing and wonderful, and I love it. And so I am supporting the Mission Eagles with my t-shirt. I am wearing my Margie sunglasses, and I also have her little sticker. This is Margie's Must Reads, because along with being an incredible, why can't I say the word incredible? An incredible educator and librarian, she is also a huge literary advocate. She's a big reader. She's the biggest Twilight fan that I know, and that's saying something coming from me because I'm a pretty big Twihard myself. But no, she's actually married to Edward Cullen. Bella, she will beat you up, let me tell you. And she's also, this is the exciting part, she also is an author, and she has a book coming out next year, and she has herself a whole big-time literary agent and publisher and everything, and it's gonna be awesome. I will post all of her links so you can give her a follow. And just, Margie, I love you, and I'm cosplaying as you today for this. So instead of reading to you today, okay, well, first of all, I am going to give myself a little publicity shout out because I have to. But instead of reading to you today, I'm going to tell you about a couple of my favorite books, both traditionally published and independently published. Some of these authors I know, some of them I don't know, but all of these are books that I enjoyed and would 100% recommend to anyone, whether you're in isolation or if you're just enjoying your everyday life after all this is over. I would still recommend reading these books. If you'd like to, you can always support your local library by either donating books, or you can ask some of them to order, if they don't have one of these particular books, like if they don't have a book by an independent author, you can always ask your local library to order them, and that actually helps out authors and libraries, so that's really cool. So before I get started, this is my own personal shout out. Boy Band, this is my young adult series about a young lady in love with her best friend who just happens to be a member of the world's hottest boy band. But Boy Band, the very first book in the series, is turning 5 years old tomorrow. That's so crazy. 5 years of Boy Band. So to celebrate all 4 of these beautiful books in the series, it's a complete series, all 4 are 99 cents on Kindle each. So that's 4 books, $4. Go check them out. Okay, that's the only shout out for myself I'm doing today, and I don't really have a place to drop these, so I'm just going to put them on the floor. You can see my setup's a little different today because I had to have a way to reach all of these books that I wanted to share with you. And I'll try to keep this as short and sweet as possible. I do tend to ramble sometimes. I also talk with my hands quite a bit, as I've come to realize over the years. But let's just get started. Let's just dive right in. So first, and then these are in no particular order, I just pulled, I don't even know how many books are here. I just pulled a couple of my favorites off the shelves, and I thought I'd talk about them. And of course, so I'm not including books like Harry Potter, Twilight, Hunger Games, because I mean, obviously everyone loves those. All those books changed my life in the most beautiful and spectacular ways. But today I wanted to talk about books that maybe aren't giant franchises. So today, or first of all, this book is called Waiting for Tom Hanks by Carrie Winfrey. I didn't know a darn thing about this book going in, but the minute I saw it, I thought, oh, well, I've got to read that because it has Tom Hanks right there in the title. And I mean, like most people, I grew up watching Tom Hanks movies. My very first, I think, was Splash, because I was and still am to this day obsessed with mermaids growing up. And I love Splash. I even watched it the other day because I want to go to the beach so much. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about mermaids and Splash. I'm here to talk about Waiting for Tom Hanks. This book, it's about as close to a perfect book as I think anyone can get. It's not only an ode to all the classic rom-coms of the 90s, like Sleepless in Seattle and You've Got Mail, which You've Got Mail is another one of my favorite movies of all time. But, I mean, it's so relatable. This girl, she dreams of being a writer. Basically, it has all my favorite tropes. It has a small town girl who dreams of being a writer. She's waiting for her Tom Hanks, who she is somewhat convinced exists, but no one else is convinced that this perfect love exists. And she finds it, or she may or may not find it, I guess I should say, in an actor named Drew Danforth. I say this is my favorite book, and I can't remember character names, guys. I can't even remember my own character names. I'm so bad at names. But so it has my favorite tropes. It has a small town writer, and it has her falling in love with a celebrity, a hot movie star who who everyone thinks is like the bad boy, the playboy, whatever, and he turns out to have a heart of gold. Again, the tropes that I just go crazy for. And as if Tom Hanks and falling in love with an actor and all the classic 90s rom-coms, as if that wasn't enough to make this the perfect book, she also mentions Frasier multiple times. Drew Danforth is a huge Frasier fan. I mean, if I could have a spirit book, Waiting for Tom Hanks would be it. Because Frasier is the best show ever. I mean, except for maybe Stranger Things, because Stranger Things is pretty perfect. But like my car is even named Niles because I love Frasier that much. So if you love rom-coms, if you love Tom Hanks, if you love just being happy in general, Waiting for Tom Hanks, I cannot love this book enough, and its sequel's coming out soon. It's called Not Like the Movies. I can't wait. Okay, next. And again, I'm just setting these down here because I have actually a tub of just miscellaneous stuff that I own that these books are standing on. And then I have nothing over here. So I'm just kind of tossing them on the floor. Sorry. Okay, next. This book, if you're looking for a feel-good, lighthearted rom-com, this book is not it. This is called Defending Jacob, and it's actually about to become a limited series on Apple Plus TV, and I don't have Apple Plus. I have everything else. I have Netflix, I have Hulu, I have Disney Plus, but I haven't gotten Apple yet, but I guess I'm gonna have to because I have to watch this. It's gonna star Chris Evans, Michelle Dockery, and gosh, that kid from It, the one who played Bill, can't remember his name, but he was really good. And oh man, this book, it's one of those books that I read it while I was in San Diego. My sister got food poisoning while we were in San Diego. And so while she was resting in our hotel room, I went down to the pool and sat in the pool and I read this book. And let me tell you, there are books out there that will stay with you and haunt you and will make your stomach just jolt as you read them. And this is one of those books. It's about a kid and his dad is a lawyer and he is on the, well, he's not on the, he's, I'm trying to explain this without giving away spoilers. Basically, this kid, everyone thinks murdered this boy in town, and his dad is convinced that he didn't. Throughout the whole book, the dad is never convinced that his son could possibly be a murderer. And the ending is just, oh my gosh. Again, it has stayed with me to this day. And I read this back in maybe 2015, I think. And I mean, I've reread it since then. It's so good. It's one of my favorite books of all time. Highly, highly recommend Defending Jacob by William Landay. And I can't wait for the miniseries. Oh my gosh. It looks incredible. It's going to be amazing. All right, next up we have an indie book. This is written by one of my favorite people on the planet. You may think I'm biased, probably am, but this is called The Gay Teen's Guide to Defeating a Siren by Cody Wagner. And let me just tell you about Cody for a minute. I have known Cody since before either of us was a writer. He's actually known my little sister longer. He and my sister did theater out at my church when my sister, gosh, she must have been 6 or 7, and they were in plays together. They were in Alice in Wonderland together. My sister was Alice, and Cody was like a card, like a king's card. I don't know. What were you, Cody? I have no idea. We have a weird picture of him, though. It's really funny. And then years later, he and I did a play together where we played a married couple. It was called Barefoot in the Park. And we became just best friends after that. He's always told me that if he was straight, he would have married me by now. And I just take that as such a compliment. Thank you, Cody. I love you. Anyway, so after I started writing, he messaged me one day going, hey, I have an idea for a book. Would you like to read it? And I said, well, yeah, absolutely. And so I actually got to read the very, 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 very first draft of this. And I loved it. And now it's a beautiful, beautiful book. It's about a teenager who accidentally comes out to his family, and they send him to a Pray the Gay Away school. However, this school turns out to actually be a sanctuary for gay teens. And when you're reading it, you're thinking, oh, this is such a lovely little YA book. Oh, I love it. And then it turns out, oh, there's a supernatural twist to it. There's a supernatural element. And I'm just like, what? I mean, judging by the cover, you can kind of tell because there's this giant siren right there on the cover. This cover's gorgeous, isn't it? But yeah, when I was reading it, I didn't have a cover. I was just like, what? There's like mythology in this book? That's really cool. And look, there's also a pumpkin right there. The pumpkin actually plays a role in the book too. So there are 2 books out currently. This first one's called The Seeker. The second one's called The Siren. I have read both. I actually liked the second. It was one of those rare instances where I thought the second one was actually better than the first. But I highly, highly recommend it. It's especially wonderful for teenagers, and just it's fun. I love it. Next. All right. Dating an Alien Pop Star by my friend Kendra Saunders. Now, Kendra is another one of those amazing authors I know in real life. However, I read her books before I actually met her. So I'm one of those people who I will scroll and scroll and scroll through the free Kindle books. And for a while, this book was free on Kindle. So naturally, I found it. I downloaded it. But the minute I saw it, I thought, dating an alien pop star? This looks like my kind of book. So I'm not a sci-fi person at all. But if the aliens look like hot humans and they're pop stars, shoot, I'm sold. This is my kind of sci-fi, y'all. And I read this book, gosh, I read it in a couple hours straight through. I laughed the whole time. It is one of the funniest books I have ever read. Basically, these 2 aliens come down and they're seeking to sort of influence humans in order to gain peace. And they think, well, let's see, who is better at influencing humans than British pop stars? And so as I'm reading this, you know, I'm a big One Direction fangirl, so I'm envisioning like Harry and Niall as these aliens. But as I got to know Kendra, I found out she's a big Muse fangirl, and she's actually picturing Matt Bellamy and, oh no, I forgot the drummer's name. I'm really sorry. His friend, he's the drummer. Sorry, the blonde guy. I'm really sorry, Kendra. Anyway, so after I read this book, I posted about it on social medias, I tagged Kendra, and she and I started talking. And I mean, we became fast friends just because we're both such huge, nerdy fangirls, especially over cute British guys. And we ended up meeting when I was in New York, summer, I guess 2018, I think. Yeah, summer 2018. And oh my gosh, we just had the best time. She's so wonderful. I love her dearly. And if you're looking for a book that will make you actually laugh out loud, look no further. The Dating an Alien Pop Star series. There are three books in the series, dating, engaged, and marrying. And they're all just, oh my gosh, I cannot tell you enough how much I love these books. Oh no, my stock fell. Next up, we have another romantic comedy. It's called Well Met. I actually received this book before it was published because I'm part of the Book of the Month Club, where for a $14 month subscription fee, you get these beautiful, beautiful books shipped to you for free. Well, okay, for $14. But it's like my favorite thing about every single month. You know, my sister and my cousin and me, our favorite thing to do is check our emails and see, okay, what books are going to be available this month. And as soon as I saw Well Met, I knew, oh gosh, I've got to read this one, because my best friend is actually, she met her husband through the Renaissance Fair circuit. He was a knight. And this is all about a girl working first time at a Renaissance fair and falling in love. It's one of those kind of, I don't want to say hate to love, but they don't get along at first. And, you know, she annoys him so much. And it's just so cute. And I followed the author, Jen DeLuca. And apparently this guy, you know how I base my romantic heroes on, like, Colin Farrell or, you know, like my ghost story series, Michael Sinclair, he's based on Matthew K. Gubler. This guy is based on Colin O'Donoghue, aka Captain Hook, from Once Upon a Time. And I can so see it. As soon as I found that out, I actually went back and reread it, imagining him, and ooh, I love this book so much. And the thing is, as someone who has spent more than her fair share of time around Renaissance fairs, all of the pirate flirting and like the medieval flirting is so 100% awkwardly accurate. I got like secondhand embarrassment reading this just because of how much of this I've actually experienced from spending time at Renaissance fairs. It's amazing. And yeah, I highly recommend anyone who loves a good rom-com, who loves sexy Captain Hook, who loves Renaissance fairs, check this book out. And this one's also getting a sequel. I can't wait. I'm counting down the days. Okay. Next, we have The Wall Outside by James William Piercy. And actually, oh man, this is the old cover. So I didn't grab the new cover. Anyone who has met me at one of my events at a Comic-Con has probably met James too. When I was a baby author starting out in 2013, he and his lovely wife Claudette took me under their wings, and they really helped introduce me to the world of Comic-Cons and book signings. And so I'll be honest, I'm not typically, as much as I love like Harry Potter, I love Lord of the Rings, I love Chronicles of Narnia, I'm really not too much of a fantasy reader. So, but I mean, James is just so wonderful, and he has created an amazing world of pixies and elves and a human trying to navigate in this new world of magic. And it's a very heartwarming series. Let's see, are there 6 in the series now, or are there 5? I think there are 5 now in the series, and then he just put out another, it's kind of a spin-off tale called Clan Ravensmith to go along with it. And I mean, it's just a world that's ever growing, full of magic. I keep telling him though, I need you to make like an encyclopedia or like an encyclopedia with pictures, because there's so many names and so many creatures that are just so mythical and magical and out there that I can't keep them I can't keep them straight. I can't keep track of them in my head. And I'm always completely mystified by anyone who can write fantasy, because my brain just doesn't work like that. My brain is very much hey, let's write books about cute pop stars or ghosts. That's about as extravagant and mythical as my brain gets. So anyone who can create worlds of magic and of these mythical creatures, I'm just in awe of that. So I love you, James, and I miss you. Okay, next, 7 Tears into the Sea by the amazing Terry Farley. Okay, so here's another good story, and I hope you guys don't mind long stories. I can tell stories for forever, especially about people that I love. So my sister actually found this book years ago. My sister, she's 25 years old, and she's actually always been even a more avid reader than I am. She's the one who discovered the Twilight books. She's the one who got me hooked on suspense and mystery novels. She's the first one who read the Hunger Games and told me I wasn't allowed to see the movies until I read the books, which I'm very glad she told me that, because I read them in 2 days straight, like all 3 books in 2 days. That's how obsessed I was with the Hunger Games. And then I went to see the movie the next day. So yeah, she's the one. I think the only series that I can claim that I found first was Harry Potter, and that's because I was old enough to read when they came out and she wasn't. So that's like the only reason I was first on that one. But anyway, so she found this book called 7 Tears into the Sea, and like I said, me being the mermaid, ocean enthusiast that I am, I stole it and had to read it. And this book isn't actually about mermaids. It's about a young girl who falls in love with a boy who's actually a Selkie. And for those of you who may not be familiar with Celtic mythology, a Selkie is a creature who is human on land and a seal in the sea. There's actually a children's book called Grayling about a Selkie. And oh my gosh, that book was one of my favorites growing up. And I'm getting chills just thinking about how much I loved Grayling. But this book, it's like, it's perfect. It has the beach. It has romance with a cute boy who's also a mythological creature. It has a cute cottage with seashells. And I loved this book. I fell in love with it. I wanted to be in this book. I wanted to go to the ocean. So I was a big fan of this book. So fast forward a couple years, more than a couple years, I become an author myself, and I get invited to an event called Teen Book Fest by the Bay in Corpus Christi. And I'm in the elevator. I first got to the hotel. I was all by myself. I didn't travel with anyone. And I'm just kind of nervous, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, I knew my friend Miracle, but she wasn't there yet, and I'm in the elevator going up to my hotel room, and this lady comes in and she says, hi, I'm here for the event too. My name's Terry. And I was like, hi, nice to meet you. And I was really, really awkward. She may not even remember this actually. I hope she doesn't. But yeah, so I was just like, oh, she seems nice. Okay. So the next day I'm wandering around the book fair at the event, looking at all the authors who are here, looking at all the books. And what do I see? I see this book. And I go, oh, wait a minute, is she here? And I look at the name and I see Terry Farley and I go, oh, I think I met her. I think she was in the elevator with me. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize. And so then I go to breakfast. They serve us breakfast there at my favorite events. If you want to get on an author's good side, just feed them. We're like stray cats. If you feed us, we'll love you forever. But so I'm at breakfast, and I'm eating, and all of a sudden I see the lady from the elevator walk by, and I slammed my fork down and I yelled out, "Terry Farley!" And she turned around and she looked so scared, and I just started fangirling over her. Oh my gosh, I probably scared her. I'm so glad she's still my friend today, because I was just like, I love 7 Tears into the Sea. Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorites. But then this story gets cooler. Okay, so 7 Tears into the Sea, highly recommend this. It gets cooler because it turns out not only is Terry Farley an amazing author, she also wrote the Phantom Stallion series for young readers, which I have yet to read, but I still need to. However, she also has this book called Wild at Heart. You see, Terry Farley is also a wild horse advocate. And I share a lot of this on my Instagram page, not so much here on my YouTube because it's still so new, but my first love, my first passion is actually wildlife. Whales, dolphins were like my obsession growing up, and now it's all wildlife. But see, meeting Terry Farley, it made me realize, oh my gosh, I can do the author thing, but I can also do the wildlife advocacy thing like she does. And oh my gosh, this book is just beautiful. It has all these pictures from a National Geographic photographer. Her name is Melissa Farlow. And it was actually meeting Terry that inspired me to start volunteering at the Dallas Zoo. So shortly after I met her, I began volunteering there, and now I tell people about African elephants and why we should be working to save them. I was able to get involved with some conservation projects. I actually met Jane Goodall, and I mean, I love Terry so much. I love her work. She's such an inspiration to me. I want to be just like her. So Terry, I love you. Thank you for putting up with my fangirling and still loving me. I appreciate you. Next, we have Doll by Miss Miracle Austin, another one of my favorite people on the planet. When I first met Miracle, I mean, we were at an event called the North Texas Book Festival, and it was one of those moments where I just thought, hi, we're friends. That's it. You are my friend now. And I mean, I just cannot say enough kind things about Miracle. Throughout this whole pandemic, she's texted me probably at least once every other day to make sure that I'm wearing masks, that I'm washing my hands, that I'm staying safe. She's seriously like one of my moms. I love her so much, and she's an amazing writer. And here's the funny thing about Miracle is when you meet her, she is like the human embodiment of glitter. She is just sparkly and sweet and happy and just the loveliest person ever. And then she goes and she writes this. She writes this story about a voodoo doll, or she'll write these terrifying short stories in her other book called Boundless. And there's one, it's called like The Meat Lover's Surprise or something, and you read this and you're like, Miracle, this is creepy and terrifying. How did this come out of your brain? She's great, and I love her, and I love her books. This is about a couple of high school students who are tired of being bullied, so they seek out help from a New Orleans voodoo mistress, and they get a voodoo doll. And oh my gosh, wonderful, amazing, creepy. And here's another funny thing about Miracle. She'll write creepy stuff like this. She loves horror stories. She loves horror movies. She loves Stephen King. She loves Jonathan Mayberry, who is actually a very nice person. This is my moment of clout right here. I'm friends with Jonathan Mayberry. But so yeah, she's a big horror fan. Oh my goodness. And you will never, ever get her in an actual haunted house or a graveyard or any of it. You will not. She just won't do it. She will not do horror in real life. Like when we were in Corpus Christi, I said, oh, we should go visit that haunted warship. She goes, nope, nope. Or when we were in Granbury and I go, hey, we should go on the cemetery tour, this haunted tour. Nope, nope. And I'm like, what? I love going on haunted tours, and I love visiting creepy places and cemeteries and old warships, and nope, no such luck here, which I just think is so funny. I love you, Miracle. I miss you. I can't wait to see you again. All right, next. So this isn't so much as a book recommendation as an author recommendation. I told you that my sister is the one who really got me into reading mysteries, and I hope these are in focus. I'm not even sure. I'm looking at you on this tiny itty bitty screen, and I can't tell what you can actually see. But Lisa Scottoline, oh my gosh, she's become one of those authors where I will read all of her books. She puts out a book, I'm gonna read it, that's it. And this one, I chose this one because it was particularly interesting and enthralling. It's about a couple who wanted to conceive a baby, and the husband turned out to have a medical issue, so he couldn't. So they seek a sperm donor, and it turns out that that sperm donor just might be a serial killer. Yay! So I love all of her books, highly recommend any of hers. I don't know her personally. I'm sure she's lovely. I would love to meet her one day. But yeah, just if you're looking for a good mystery, a good legal thriller, Lisa Scottoline. My books are falling again. What's next? Caitlin! This is called The Other Side of the Law, and it's by Caitlin. I just realized I don't really know how to pronounce your last name. Is it Caitlin Renteria? Anyway, Caitlin is one of the most amazing, wonderful people you will ever meet. This girl published her first book, this book, I think when she was 16. Do you want to know what I was doing at 16? I was running around looking at boys, and that's about it. I wasn't thinking about anything at 16. Especially not writing a book. Oh, but she's incredible. She's so smart. She's so mature. I think she's just turned 20. And here's the thing about Caitlin too, when you meet her, you think, oh man, she's so quiet and sweet and cute. And then you get to know her, and she's like, hey guys, I'm such a big little My Hero Academia fangirl. I'm a cute little nerd. And oh man, she's just so funny. She's so funny. I want her to be my writer little sister. And anyway, this book is about a girl who goes to a school for spies. And she meets this guy, and he's really cute, and they have chemistry, but he may not be who she thinks he is. Uh-oh. But anyway, I love Caitlin. If Corona hadn't happened, she would have been at Dallas Fan Expo this year with me and James and Cody, and I am just so sad that she wasn't. Because the My Hero Academia cast is going to be there too, and I wanted her to meet my friend Jalitza, who is a big My Hero Academia fangirl. See, I've never seen My Hero Academia in my life, but I know all about it because of these two, because of Jalitza and Caitlin. I know all about it, so thanks y'all. Thank you for putting that in my head. But yeah, no, Caitlin is wonderful. Like I said, I want to adopt her, and I miss you. I'm so sorry that didn't work out this year, but we will have many, many more opportunities. Yeah. Okay. Boy, this video is starting to get long. I only have 4 books left. We'll be good. We'll be good. Wait, 5. I lied. Okay, I'll go fast. So, this is another mystery, thriller, suspense novel by Rachel Kane. It's called Still House Lake. I've never actually met Rachel Kane. My friend Miracle has. She's the one who actually sent me this book. She got it signed for me and everything. I have a collection of signed books, so if I ever have kids one day, they won't have any money, but they'll have a collection of signed books to inherit. So, you're welcome, kids. This book is amazing, though. It's about a woman who finds out she's been married to a serial killer. Again, it all goes back to serial killers. I mean, who doesn't love a good serial killer story, right? We all watched the Ted Bundy documentary. It's fascinating. I wouldn't want to meet one in real life, but, you know, stories, fictional stories especially, they're great. And she moves to this lake, and some mysterious killings start up again, even though her husband is supposed to be in jail. So, ooh, it's creepy. And there are actually, I think, 3 more or 4 more books in the series at the moment, and I still need to read them all. I have them on my Kindle, and you know how it goes. You buy all these books, like, yeah, I'm gonna read them, and then life starts happening. But now that Corona is, you know, happening, hey, I'm gonna try to finish this series because I loved the first book, and it was amazing. And Rachel Kane is actually in the midst of, if you follow her on Twitter, she's actually in the midst of a cancer battle. So it's wonderful to support authors because we're not a wealthy bunch, y'all. Even the traditionally published authors, they do not make the money you think they do. But she's amazing. Oh my goodness, I love this book. I would love to meet her one day. Please don't think I'm creepy, Rachel. I think you're awesome. All right, trying to go faster here. So, next book, The Dead Club by Manuel Ruiz. And Manuel is another one of those, my favorite people in the world. He's like, you meet him once, and it's like, you've known him your entire life. It's like he's never met a stranger, and his wife, Daisy, is just, she's so funny and delightful, and one of my favorite people ever. I love her so much. I miss you guys. I miss you, Manuel and Daisy. I miss talking about Hamilton with you. Manuel is big Hamilton fan. I don't know how long we talked about Hamilton the last time I saw them, and we still like will message about it just randomly, like, hey, Hamilton. Anyway, so this book is about a kid. This is actually fit for middle graders, like maybe 10 and up. It kind of reminded me of like almost a Percy Jackson type book, because this kid dies and he meets up with all these other dead kids, and this sounds very indelicate, but it's actually, it's just it's a fun middle grade read. And they team up with the Grim Reaper himself to try to solve a mystery. And it's awesome. And Death is actually quite a charming character. I really, really liked him. Even as a girlfriend. It's awesome. And, if you're just looking for something fun to read, maybe with your middle grader, I highly recommend The Dead Club. Again, it's a series. There are 2 other books. Again, I have them. I haven't read them yet. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible friend. But, life. But anyway, I love Manuel. I love Daisy. I miss you guys. Read The Dead Club. Okay, let's go back to rom-coms for a minute. Geeky Rolla. Oh my gosh. It's the first in the Once Upon a Con series by Ashley Poston. And basically, she's taking fairy tales like Cinderella. She has the princess, the prince and the pauper. And next will be Beauty and the Beast. And she puts them into the world of Comic-Cons. How perfect is that? Oh my gosh. Like, I read this book, again, in a day. The minute I read it, when it was like Cinderella at Comic-Con, I was like, I am sold. That's it. That's all I need to know. And oh my gosh, I've read this book so many times. I love it so much. The sequel is called The Princess and the Fangirl. I loved it too. The third one is going to be called Bookish and the Beast, and its release date just got pushed back a little bit, and I'm just like, no, why? I need it now. Can I have an art copy? Actually, it's okay. Probably not. But, oh man, cannot recommend this enough if you've been to a Comic-Con. And it's another one of those, ordinary girl falls in love with a secret movie star. And I'm such a sucker for that. Oh, I love it so much. I love this book. I love this series. I love Ashley Poston. I want her to be my friend. So, yeah, amazing. Okay. The Lamplighter by B. Ellen Gardner. I don't know if she wants me to say her real name. This is actually a pen name, B. Ellen Gardner. But you know who you are. I'm talking to you. She is a woman in my writers club. She is one of the sweetest, most delightful people ever. And my computer just did something, and I'm really afraid it's gonna shut down on me. Please don't. I'm almost done, I promise. But she is wonderful. The Lamplighter, she writes stories that are very uplifting, very inspiring. Like the woman in this story, she has suffered an unspeakable tragedy, and she finds hope and love and, just healing in the people around her. And I highly recommend for those who love inspirational reads, who love maybe cozy Christian reads, if you're looking for just a book to read curled up by a blanket with your cat, it's just heartwarming. And I love I mean, I love B. Ellen Carter. Sorry, Barb, I just totally gave away your name. Love her so much. She's so wonderful and sweet. And again, I miss you. Can't wait to see you. Okay, one more book, and then I'll let y'all go if you haven't turned this video off already, which you may have, it's fine. This book is called Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone. This book is about a girl with obsessive compulsive disorder, and I don't have a huge platform, but what little I do have, I do try to be open about what I have gone through with mental illness. So for my family, it's hereditary. It's hereditary. My mom and my sister both struggle with anxiety, and when I was growing up and watching that, I was thinking, well, I may have it too, but if I do, I can fight through it. I can suppress it. You know, I can will it away. That's something that you think when you see mental illness and you don't actually experience it, you think, oh, well, I can just will those feelings away. But then when it actually started happening to me in my early 20s, I learned very quickly that it's not something that you can will away with just, you know, mind over matter. It's not that. It's a chemical imbalance in your brain. It's, you know, it's a medical condition. It's something that I have taken medicine for now since December 2012, I think. Yeah, December 2012, I think, is when I started taking Lexapro for my own mental illness and obsessive compulsive disorder. And it changed my life. I used to not be able to leave the house for more than a couple minutes because I was so afraid something was going to go wrong. I wasn't able, if my plans changed, at just anything, if anything changed, I couldn't cope. I couldn't handle it. I would curl up in a little ball and think that's it. I mean, mental illness is not fun. It's still a huge stigma. But this book, Every Last Word, it helped me to understand my own mind so much. And it's fiction, but oh my gosh, I highly recommend it if you're struggling or if you're just interested maybe in learning more about, you know, the perspective of someone who may be struggling with mental illness. Highly, highly recommend this book. And I ended this on a very serious note. I didn't actually mean to, but I did want to, like, you know, just let y'all know, fiction is fun. Fiction can also be helpful. It can, like I said, it helped me to understand my own mind and what I've been dealing with for almost 10 years now. And, yeah, it's okay to get help, especially in this time, guys. I read an article the other day that said about 50% of people are now struggling with some form of mental illness because of this coronavirus. And for those of you who've never experienced it before, it's probably really scary. Like, my sister and I were talking about it, and we're like, somehow we're okay, but we've been dealing with it for quite a while now. We're pretty used to our brains trying to convince us that everything around us is on fire. But if you need help or if you need someone to talk to, you can reach out to me, reach out to a therapist or a counselor. That's what they're there for. It's okay. It is okay to not feel okay, especially at a time like this. So again, this ended on a very serious note after I was talking about fangirls and Tom Hanks and all that. But fiction is important. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this this video of my favorite reads. Again, shout out to Margie and Mission High School Library. And go download the boy band series for 99 cents each. Love y'all. Bye.